Good morning. Happy Friday. Heard any baseball card news lately? What a week. Wow. First we heard the bombshell that eBay was restricting PWCC from listing on their platform. But then the king of bombshells was released yesterday late yet like a Friday news dump. Fanatics getting the Major League Baseball official trading card license in 2026. That came out of left field. I actually heard there was some discussion a while back, and probably a year or two ago, about the when the baseball card license comes up, and somebody did mention Fanatics as a possibility, and I'm thinking, they have been getting into like some exclusive trading cards, but with Panini. So I want to dive into that. I'm going to bury the lead for a moment though, because I bought some baseball cards yesterday. Retail found some cards in the wild at Walmart. What is up, Zach? Good morning and happy Friday. So I took yesterday off of work. I woke up and I had not planned on going live anyway yesterday morning. I woke up with an absolute splitting headache. I have like sinus issues sometimes, and I thought it was a sinus headache. Maybe it was a migraine. I don't think I've ever had a migraine, but maybe some of the headaches that I've got from what I thought was sinus was actually a migraine. So I don't know what, but I woke up with a splitting headache, and I'm like, I need to lay back down. I actually got up, but I took a nap on the couch in the morning, and I just did not feel well all morning. Um, and you can hear I do kind of have, like, I think I was snoring last night because I felt getting hit a couple times um in the overnight. So I think I was snoring. I've definitely have some, stuff going on in the nasal cavities. So but I'm feeling much better this morning. So with my time off, I ran some errands in the afternoon. Um, and as I was driving, I went to the post office, and I'm driving back from the post office, and then I was going to the grocery store to pick up groceries. And I'm almost to the exit, and I'm thinking, I need penny sleeves. I'm like out of penny sleeves because you know, I have 50,000 of them in my quarter boxes. So I've been wanting to get to the Walmart on the other side of town. It's like 20 to 25 minutes from where I live. So I don't go there that. And now that I'm not buying retail cards, I really, I never venture that way for a Walmart run. So I thought, I've got the afternoon. I need penny sleeves. I'm gonna go check it out. The Walmart closest to me is small. Their card section is super small, and they never have supplies. But the other one, that's 20 minutes down the road, has a huge card selection, and they have supplies and they have everything. So I went there. So I kept driving, went to Walmart, and not only did they have a bunch of the 500 pack penny sleeves, they had cards, sports cards, like everything you would want for football that's out right now. Elite blaster boxes, elite fat packs, chronicles, prestige, blasters, and hangers. Just it looked like it had just been stocked not long ago. Oh, and Allen and Ginter. I think Allen and Ginter retail is absolute garbage, but I'm not paying $150 for a hobby box. So I'm pretty much out on Ginter this year, but I picked up 3 blasters knowing that it's just throwing my money away. And it was, and it was. So I opened the Elite on Twitter Live yesterday afternoon. It wasn't too bad. Um, the Spellbound is pretty cool. I pulled him a home Spellbound um in a Merino and Montana. The Merino sold like right away for $5, so I was happy with that. I have the Mahomes listed for 15. I did send an offer for like 12 to somebody that was watching it. I pulled an Ian Book, numbered to 499. Notre Dame quarterback. He's now with the Saints. Um, and another of 4.99. I can't remember. Rugs, because it was like the Rugs hits. Henry Ruggs of 4.99, and then a um, Ruggs jersey relic, and then a Mike Evans jersey relic. So it was okay. I like hitting those rookies. And they're just, I think I only pulled 3 rookies out of 2 blasters. So I'm glad I didn't buy more, because there was maybe 10 blasters on the shelf in all the fat packs. So I bought 2 blasters. And I didn't realize it until I messaged my buddy Ryan, ripping one-handed, and so I said, "Hey, there's a ton of football at Walmart." Um, and I said I picked up a couple blasters of Elite, and he goes, I can't remember what he said, but he's like, "Yeah, it's a bummer they're $28." And I'm like, "No, I think they were 20." Well, when I was just looking at the receipt, I was looking at the Allen and Ginter prices. I hadn't paid attention to the Elite. Yes, they're $27.48 for a blaster box. So I'm glad I only bought 2, because it was kind of a terrible rip. And then I had a bad setup for my Twitter live. So I'm like, I'm just gonna open on my own time the Allen and Ginter, and I did, and it was a complete bust. It would have been a waste of your time watching it on Twitter live. I'm gonna go to the chat. Zach says, from what I remember, if you had a migraine, you wouldn't have made it out for cards later in the day. Probably sinuses. Okay, so that's okay. So that's good. Yeah, because by noon, I was feeling better. That price is crazy considering blowout is less than the tops. That's what I thought when it went live on Tops, because I was kind of monitoring the Tops website. Um, I looked, and it was 150. I'm like, that's insane. I don't know what the price is on blowout, but I think blowout is what, 125, 130, somewhere in that range. So yeah, and it's probably still on the Tops website. I hope it is, because nobody should be buying it for 150. Did I pull any Franks in the Ginter? I don't think so. I don't think I pulled any Franks. We split a box of Ginter on YouTube last night. Oh, nice. 135 on blowout. So the Ginter was garbage. My best hits were, there's a mini rookie. I don't know if these are retail exclusive or not, but it's actually in the design. I don't know if it's a previous year's Ginter, because that's what I noticed first. I pulled like a Davy Garcia from the Yankees, and I'm like, well, this doesn't match up with the current year design. I flipped it over, and it's an insert number like MRD 10 or whatever. So I pulled a couple of those. So they're pretty common. Like one per blaster, a Davy Garcia and a Spencer Howard. So that was pretty much my best hits. Because you don't get the weird, quirky like stuff that's in Ginter doesn't fall in the retail stuff. And it's definitely not an autograph product. Like in a case of hobby boxes, you'll get like 5 autos in like, so it's like one every 2 or 3 boxes. But you'll get relics, and you'll pull a relic in a blaster box, but it's, relics are garbage. They're like dollar cards. So I'm glad I didn't pull a relic, because it's just like, what a waste of a hit. So my Ginter, so I just blew all my money away. And it was actually refreshing though, when you think about it. Because retail's been so crazy for the last, year and 2 months. And it's like, you buy a blaster for $20 and you can like flip the cards inside for 40. That's never been the case. Usually it's, you open a $20 blaster box and you're lucky to flip it for $10 on the singles. And that's what I had yesterday. So it was kind of a throwback to 2019. Actually further, like 2016. Because retail's actually been pretty decent for most products. Ginter has always been garbage. Ginter has always been garbage in the retail format. Topps Heritage has been garbage in the retail format. But Topps, Flagship, Bowman, great buys. Archives, great buy in the retail. Zach says, I can't believe MLB is partnering exclusively with Sportflix and Triple Play. So let's get to the topic of the day. Wow. Like a bombshell Thursday afternoon, early evening. Zach broke the news to me when he tagged me in a tweet from Darren Rovell, and I'm like, wait, what? What? I still couldn't wrap my head around it last night, and I tweeted that it's like me trying to understand NFTs. Like, as much as I read up on it, I just don't get it. So I slept on it, and my buddy Scott called last night, and he's like, "Hey, did you hear about this Topps news?" So we talked about it a little bit, and the more I like kind of read other opinions, and there's really not much news on the actual deal. Um, I'm actually feeling good about this. Herman says Fanatics is cornering the market. They are, but hear me out. I think this is actually could be a good thing once 2026 comes around. Um, Zach says I've broken two stories for you now with Rizzo. Yeah, Rizzo. Um, so here's kind of my thought process on the whole thing. So Major League Baseball wants to deal with one entity when it comes to trading cards. So they don't want to deal with multiple, companies for that license. They just want it. It's like a push, play, walk away. We're going to give it to Topps up until 2026. We're going to give it to Topps, and that's the only person we need to negotiate with. That's the only meeting, and it prevents all of these other, Donruss, Fleer, Upper Deck, Score, all of these others that want a piece of that pie. Nope, we're just going to deal exclusively with Topps, and that's it. And I get it from a business standpoint. I get it. It just it prevents a lot of unnecessary negotiations, business, etc. Instead of getting one email a day from Topps, I will get 20 now from Fanatics. Yeah, ain't that the truth? That's absolute truth there. So here's what I think is what's going to happen. Fanatics, I don't think in 2026 we're going to be getting ready for Fanatics flagship baseball cards. Okay. I think once this deal begins in 2026, this gives Fanatics a few years to get their ducks in a row. So Fanatics can now negotiate with the trading card companies. And I don't know if this is actually can work, but this is what I think. Major League Baseball farms it out to Fanatics. Fanatics is the exclusive baseball card, whatever, of Major League Baseball. They then farm it out, and Fanatics can deal with Topps and Panini and Upper Deck and Leaf. Okay. And again, I don't know if this could be the case or not, if this is legal or within the uh, wording of the contract itself. So Fanatics now deals with all of these other card companies, and since it funnels through Fanatics, who is the official, sponsor or licensee, they now deal with Leaf and Panini and Topps and Upper Deck, and now instead of just having Topps as the only baseball card with logos, now maybe you see Panini and you see Upper Deck, and it's like 1990 again when you have 5 different sets come out with logos. That's kind of what I think may happen here, because I don't see Fanatics. I just don't see Fanatics creating baseball cards. I think they're going to farm it out to Topps, and maybe others. So I think it's going to be a good thing, and I think maybe it does open the door for multiple companies to have the logos on the cards. Yeah, they're not the official baseball card, but they're one of. That's kind of what I think may happen. And I had another thought that crossed my mind. Um, but I'll get to it because I know it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll go to the chat. Zach says, if the NFL can deal with multiple broadcast networks, how can MLB not deal with multiple card manufacturers? I don't know, but I do know that many companies, and not just Major League Baseball, many companies just want exclusivity so they don't have to deal with multiple. I even saw this in radio where schools, and I'm talking at the high school level. This was, I mean, it was very rare, but it did happen where they didn't want other radio stations coming in. They only wanted one radio station, so they didn't have to cater to multiple radios. This could lead in 4 years. Fanatics is kind of the funnel through Major League Baseball. And then I saw some, and I haven't gone through and actually read the other tweet that I saw, that NFL and NBA is also on board with Fanatics as official exclusives. So now it all funnels through Fanatics, and I don't think it's going to be Fanatics cards. You know, I guess you can't use Prism and you can't use Bowman, but I don't think it's going to be Fanatics cards. I think there's still going to be Panini basketball cards and Topps baseball cards. It's just going to all funnel through Fanatics. So you're going to probably see a Fanatics logo on a Bowman card. You know, maybe right here, you got your Bowman logo here, and oh, there's a Fanatics logo where that, you can see it better on the screen. It looks like kind of a U, kind of looks like Miami Hurricanes U. So you're going to have a Fanatics logo here, and you're probably going to have a little Fanatics advertisement because, Zach, we know they love emailing, and they're going to have some links and all that. That's what I think it's going to happen. I think Fanatics is going to hold all of these licenses, and then they're going to farm it out. And I think it could open up to multiple card companies having the logos because it's all being farmed through Fanatics. So that's my take. That's kind of, after I slept on it, it's kind of what I think is going to happen. What does this do to Topps going public? Topps is not public yet. It's still in SPAC with Mudrick Capital. MUDS on the ticker, MUDS. When the news broke, it dropped crazy. And we haven't seen, and somebody said on Twitter last night, buy the dip. We haven't seen the dip yet. Well, we're starting to, because when I tweeted that out at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock last night, it had dropped 5% to $9.92 per share. When I woke up this morning, it was, and it's gone back up. Okay, so it's now $9.87. So it was actually, when I woke up this morning, about an hour ago, the MUDS price was trading at like $9.30 after hours. So I don't think we've seen the dip. I think we're going to see a pretty precipitous drop today for the MUDS stock. And it's interesting, the vote is coming up next week. So there was also, I think, a lawsuit. There's a class action suit from one of the board of directors. Where was that story at? This came out like a week ago. One of the SPAC investors sues to block shareholder vote ahead of the Topps union. So it's gonna be interesting. Zach says, I agree with you. This is Amazon buying Whole Foods. The brand is too strong. Yeah, absolutely, great analogy. So I think up 986. Yeah, I think once the opening bell hits, MUDS is going to continue to drop. I'm not going to give investment advice. I do hold 10 shares just because it's not an investment. It's basically my 10 shares that I bought of MUDS was basically me throwing money to Walmart for those garbage Ginter boxes, because although with MUDS I thought, well, maybe I could make a few bucks. With Ginter, I knew I was throwing my money away. So it's basically just here's my money. If I make a few bucks, good. If I lose a few bucks, fine. I'll walk away. So I think MUDS stock is going to continue to drop because this news broke like after the closing bell yesterday. I'm pretty sure this news broke after the closing bell. At what time was this all going down? At like 4 p.m. Central Time. So It was already at the after the close. So now we're gonna have the opening bell this morning in what, an hour and a half, and it's gonna be interesting to see where that goes and how the vote's gonna play out. You know, is this gonna are there gonna be a lot of no votes because of the uncertainty? Is it overvalued? You know, how much is that MLB license worth to the Topps company? You know, I think it was, what was it valued at? 1.3 billion, I think. You know, how much does that is Topps now 0.8 billion-dollar company? You know, is that worth a half a million? Or that wouldn't be half a million. Whatever the math works out to. You know, how much is that worth to the Topps company? It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, not just in the next couple days, but in the next couple years. How is this actually going to be played out? And it's going to be interesting to watch. But don't fear. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this actually could be a good thing. In some ways, it's kind of like, basically with anything in the hobby, I think half the people will love it, half the people are going to hate it. Maybe more in thirds. A third of the people will love it, people will hate it, and a third of the people will be, okay, I'm still going to collect what I collect, and this doesn't bother me. So yeah, I'll just say it again. I think this opens the door for multiple organizations to get in because of the Fanatics, deal. So I think we could see potentially licensed Panini Prism baseball, licensed Bowman football, Topps Chrome basketball, etc. So we will see how this all plays out. And it's, this is 2026, so we still have 5 years. So these companies have 5 years to work things out. So that's a lot of time. That is a lot of time to have this all these negotiations work out. Herman says, I'm looking forward to kicking around this tomorrow night. Yes. So tomorrow night is Hobby Roundtable, which actually works out perfect in 2 ways. I am going to the Wisconsin Dell Show tomorrow. It was kind of a game day decision. I made that decision last night. It's like, my wife and I don't have any weekend plans. She's got to work all day Sunday. So, we're not going to take any day trips or anything. So it's like, I'm just going to go up there and hang out for a few hours, see if I can dig through some bargain boxes and pull some dollar cards. Got a work email. So I'm going to do the Wisconsin Dell Show. It was an awesome show in May. I'm interested just to see what type of turnout tomorrow, this weekend will bring. Because I think there's a lot more vendors. I think they opened up another section within this convention hall. So I think it's going to be a bigger show, but it's going to be interesting to see how the turnout is. We just had the National, 2-3 weeks ago. We've got the Chicago show coming up in two weeks. So how will that all play out? Will people want to save their money that they spent 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Are they saving it up for Chicago? Do they have any money left over after the National? So it's going to be interesting. So I can briefly talk about that. So Hobby Roundtable tomorrow night, 7 Central on 3B Collections channel. Also works out because my wife has a girls' night tomorrow night. So I'll be cracking open some Bud Lights with Herman and the rest of us. So it'll be fun. 3B Collections YouTube channel tomorrow night, 7 Central. Ryan, David, what's up? Good morning. Mike from Rockford. Yes. Great time at the Great Taste of the Midwest last Saturday. Was shocked with the news yesterday. I hope you're right on the Fanatics deal. It just makes sense. Awesome. Glad you had a good time at the Taste. I had a good time in Rockford. We traded places. So look forward to seeing you next Saturday at the Madison show. Ryan, I think things got more expensive to buy now that there's a limited time for Topps to produce products. that's a fair point, and I think it's twofold. I think along with that, there's just been there's a glut of interest. Like we've seen with Panini. Panini has already raised prices just because there's demand. And and that's another thing, and I haven't read enough to speak about it, but there somehow with this Fanatics deal, there's going to be like secondary market, like players will not be left out on secondary market pricing. So I don't know the ins and the outs, and if that's even settled or whatever. But that was an interesting point in one of the articles I read. So Panini has already raised their blaster boxes. That Elite Football blaster box I bought yesterday, $27.48. So the blaster boxes, you go on Panini's website for new releases. They're the Dutch auctions. So we've seen it with Panini, with Topps. How does Topps react? Will they react? I think with baseball, you don't see it's not as profound as basketball and football. There's just not that flippers market for baseball outside of like maybe a Bowman mega box. And even that is, pretty bland compared to Prism football and Prism basketball. So yeah, Topps is interesting because you just don't have those crazy secondary prices on wax. Mike says, look forward to going to the show next week. Need to start getting prepped. Same here. I kind of I didn't really do any preparation for the show in Rockford, and now I've got a bunch of stuff that I picked up at the Rockford show and need to get that. I did buy a Walmart run, got some sleeves, so I'm good there. Now I just need to put some quarter cards in and freshen up those boxes. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully some more like new content on this deal comes out. Now we're just like, we crave this Fanatics news. So I am looking forward to seeing, will Topps make a statement today? Curious to see how the mud stock performs today. In any other articles that come about. So wanted to definitely talk about that this morning. What I've got going on this weekend, like I said, tomorrow is the Wisconsin Dells show. It actually starts today. It's a 3-day show. I think it begins this afternoon. Wisconsin Dells, and then tomorrow and Sunday. So I'll go up there Saturday and check things out. And then 7 p.m. tomorrow night Central Time, 3B Collections channel on YouTube. We're going to do a hobby roundtable, and we do this every month. I think the third Saturday night of every month. And it's just about, sometimes there's 6 of us, sometimes there's 10 of us. And we just kind of talk about, so obviously we're going to be talking about this Fanatics deal and among other things. So tune in tomorrow night, 7 Central on 3B Collections channel. I will go live tomorrow morning, probably between 7 and 8. I'm going to do a little earlier since I am going to run up to the Dells. Oh, nice. Mike and Herman are going to the Dells today. He's going to set up next week too. Oh, sweet. Awesome. So yeah, so I will go live tomorrow morning between 7 and 8, in preparation for running up and seeing what deals I can get at the Dells show. So have a great Friday, and we'll talk tomorrow.